It's story time today as I take the bold step of taking you through my journey as an over 30-year-old lady, unmarried, in the African society. Grab your coffee and your seat and let me take you through my story. So a couple of years ago, of course, I had turned 30. I had taken a huge loan to buy myself my first car. This car had been parked at my parking lot for over 2 months because your girl here didn't know how to drive. Yes, I had done my driving test for like 7 years prior, but I never driven a car. And this time, as my 30th birthday, I decided I was to go for a car, which I did, of course, through a loan. And the car was at the parking for 2 months because I didn't know how to drive. You'll ask yourself why I'm beginning the story from there, but you'll get to understand as the story goes on. Now, having hit 30 years with no marriage, no boyfriend, and nothing much happening on that line, I'd gotten to a point that I was under so much pressure, especially from the church. Anytime I would visit my local church after the service, the women would call me aside, started asking me what's going on, why our prayers not being answered. Yes, haven't you met any guy who is interested? The pastor would also call me aside in his office and ask me what the challenge was. Now remember, there are some things when you are a lady you're not supposed to achieve before marriage, because apparently you will look like a threat and men will fear approaching you. That is in the backward thinking. And I'm thinking, these guys who are after me, this is what was of course in their mind. This girl has gone through school, she's working, she's not driving a car. Of course they know I've advanced in age, I'm not married, they've not seen me bringing any guy home, and now they were coming left, right and center, wanting to know why I wasn't taking the next step in life. And by the next step in life, of course, is getting married. Remember, as a woman, at least from where I come from, you don't go asking for people to marry you. You have to sit pretty, do your thing, and wait for the man to pop the question. So now the pressure had really started building up. Anytime I would go home, attend the church, this was a question I could get from at least 3 people. The pastor, the rest would be the ladies in the women leadership. They would ask me, Lydia, what's going on? When are we eating rice? So in the African society, or at least from where I come from, when people want to ask you, when are you getting married, they ask when we are eating rice. So they kept on asking me when we are eating rice. And this thing started getting into my head. I started feeling the pressure of ticking the standard that had been set by the society. So now, this is where my story begins. There's this guy who now started showing interest. Now remember, like I said, I had already hit 30. That's a couple of years back. And the pressure had started piling up. When are we eating rice? When are you getting married? What's going on? Does it mean the prayers that we make on behalf of you, don't go past the rooftop. Actually, that was my pastor. He used to ask me that. Does the prayers that we made, don't they pass the ceiling of this building? So I was now getting desperate, and the pressure was really too much on me. So remember, back at home, nobody was bothering me with the issue of marriage. The pressure was coming from the church. That's where I would go. The pastor would call me aside, ask me about what's going on, the women leadership, the leadership in the women, whatever. They would call me aside and start asking. I remember there's even this one lady. She was the chair lady in the church women group. She was like, now if you cannot find yourself a man, I'll introduce you to some guy, because we need to get married as soon as possible, because you can't be making some moves while you're still unmarried. So that particular time in my life, there was really no guy who was talking marriage. Of course, they were hitting on me left, right, and center, and that's one that I really liked, but none of them, nobody was talking marriage. And now this is an issue that I am now dealing with at that particular time. So I remember one time I met this guy. Of course, the guy was older than me, and he started being nice to me, talking to me, calling me every now and then. And at that particular time, I remembered that since this person is becoming so much available, I can actually request them to teach me how to drive the car. Remember, this car had stayed in the parking lot for 2 months. So when I proposed that issue to this guy, he was more than ready to assist me with the learning or with the driving lessons. That is where my journey begins with this particular person. I want you to remember that I am under a lot of pressure in the church to get married. I also want you to remember that this time, at that particular time of my life, nobody was talking marriage to me. The guys that were showing interest in me, nobody was talking marriage. But this person, from the word go, of course, after getting to know me and learning that I'm not married, he went straight to the point. I want to marry you. There was nothing in common between the two of us. No attraction, no nothing. I was just taking him as maybe a +1 friend, you know? Those people that you've known, you're talking to, there's no attraction, no nothing, but they can pass for a friend. So for me, I was taking this guy as a friend. Now, he's here talking marriage. Remember the pressure that I am under. In my heart, I knew that I don't feel anything for this person. Absolutely. But this is a person who is talking the language of marriage. This is a person who is the person who is speaking hope to this void in my heart, the marriage thing. So I'm there with this person. He has started teaching me how to drive a car. I want to just let you know that when I met this person, anytime they would ask me out for a coffee, dinner or whatever, he used to show up in a cab or in a taxi. And I remember one day asking him, where is your car? The guy told me he sold his car because the doctor advised him to start doing exercise. And as a way of doing exercise, he decided to dispose of his car so that he could be walking more often. So like he had chosen to be walking. Please don't misquote me. It wasn't like important for me that he was driving. It was just one of those conversations because I thought at his level and him having to take a cab every day, the cost, so it was just a conversation, not that it really meant anything to me that he was driving or not driving. Besides, in my eyes, there was nothing much, but there was still the hope that he was coming with what was missing in my life at that moment. So the guy is now teaching me how to drive, but he was very tough on me, extremely. He would shout, he would instill a lot of fear, which I later came to learn that he actually didn't want me to learn how to drive. He wanted me to be dependent on him. So like he would instill a lot of fear, shouting, literally screaming at me anytime I would make a mistake or anytime I could do something without his instruction. So number one thing, he instilled a lot of fear in me, and this was his plan of making me depend on him fully, matters driving. So I'm here in this, I'll call it a situationship, because my heart is not into this man. Because the first thing I'd picked from this guy is that he was extremely vulgar. Like using vulgar language was part of his conversation, and my values don't align with that. I don't appreciate when you're vulgar. I can't relate, and that was really making me uncomfortable. So that is one thing I had picked with this guy, extremely vulgar. But then now he's coming with a marriage proposal, the only thing that is missing in my life at that particular time. And I started having ideas that maybe I can actually marry this person. I tick that box, and these people, the church guys, will stop bothering me. So this idea now is I started consuming my thoughts. I was just there, very unhappy, but just existing in the life of this guy. 4 months down the line, even before I know that I'm in a relationship, the guy pulls a very exciting proposal. It was beautiful, I'll say. Took me to one of the best hotels, pulled my family, two of my sisters, one of his cousins, and a colleague of his. In these 4 months that I had known this person, he had not introduced me to any of his friends, because he used to tell me that his best friend is the cousin. This cousin was a lady, and for sure I had met the cousin. So I had not met any of his friends because his only friend was the cousin. No, I think before the proposal, I had lost my brother, and during my grief, the guy was there, extremely available for me during that time of grief, because we lost my brother. I think it was on that year, on 31st of December, and we buried him 2 days later. Like he died today, we skipped a day, and we were burying him the other day. Even with no time to process the loss, no nothing. But the guy was there driving me home for the burial. And what I need to point out is that at this particular time, he is the one who drives my car, drops me to work, comes to pick me in the evening with my car. Remember, this is a person who is supposed to be exercising by walking as per the doctor's instructions. Anyway, so now 4 months down this situationship, he pulls a very, very big surprise on me. He organized an extremely beautiful proposal, went down on his knee, treated us very nicely, and of course I said yes to the marriage proposal. At this time, I had attempted breaking this relationship enough times because the guy used to beat me up. Yes, he used to beat me up. He had taken over my phone. He had confronted any guy who used to call me. He had alienated me from my friends. He had dictated where I go to the salon. Like, he was all over me. And I'd, of course, tried breaking off, and he came so strong with threats. He would threaten me with 3 things. Number 1, that he's going to burn my car. Number 2, that he's going to destroy my career. And number 3, that he would kill me. Around that time, in my country, there were so many cases of women being killed by men. And so anytime he would pull those ones on me, and that time when he's telling me these things, he would have some pink veins coming out of his face. So me, I used to fear, and so I would shrink and not pursue the breakup thing. So my life was in constant fear. I had lost myself. I had lost my say. I was just existing, and he was running the show. So when he put the question, deep down I knew this is not the man I wanted. This is not the person I want to settle down with. But I didn't want to embarrass him. I said yes. And now, still in the middle of that confusion, I'm thinking maybe. So in my mind, in my misery, because I was a very miserable person, I was now comforting myself, saying that maybe I will learn to love this guy. Maybe he will change. But bottom line, at least the church members will stop bothering me. At least I'll tick the box, get married, and now we shall move on to other matters of life. So just popped the question, went down on one knee, bought me some 2 very nice rings, and we had made merry, and that was a day. That is now where my extreme problems started. At this time, he had taken possession of that car that he was teaching me how to drive. He could even go to work out of town for 3 weeks with the car. I had changed my hairdresser. He had taken me to some other places. I had changed my friends. The only people that now I'm in contact with is, of course, him and my 2 sisters. And how did he maintain that? He would take us every Sunday after church. He would take us to wash our cars. My sisters also had cars. He would take us to wash the cars, buy us lunch, and pay for everything. So in the eyes of my sisters, I had hit a jackpot. I had gotten this person who was so much into me, was so caring, and they were really so excited and happy for me. But I could confide in one and tell her that I was so unhappy, this guy was beating me up and things like that. But I didn't have the courage or the confidence to call it quits. It's also important to note that at the beginning of all this situationship, the guy would shower me with gifts. He would go all out. And it was exciting because it's the dream of most of the girls to have a man who is so much into them, a man who is showering them with gifts, a man who is available. So when this package was unwrapped this way, it was a bit exciting. Despite the issues that I had of being vulgar, this other bit of him being generous to me, available to me, was very exciting. And I could like joke around that, hey, finally my time had come of me enjoying what love has to offer. So I'm really getting tired today. So after the guy has proposed and I had said yes, he took full control of my life. I changed where I used to go to church. Now I was going to their church. Anywhere I would go, he would be behind me, including official functions. He would come, sit at the back. I remember like there's this one particular time we had gone for an official quiz night in a particular hotel. I didn't know that the guy would show up. So I was just there having fun. Of course, I was not participating in the quiz. Then a message pops and it says, I've been here for quite some time and I've noticed that you're not participating in the quiz night. Get out, let's go. Okay. I didn't have a voice. I followed him. Going to my friends' kids' birthdays, the guy would come. Going to my colleagues' weddings and any, you name it, he would come. Just to make sure that I had gone wherever I said I was going. So how did I get myself into this ugly situation? It was pressure from the church. Because they were nagging me. When are you getting married? When are we eating the rice? Things like that. So I ended up being in this situation. I'm not blaming anybody for getting myself there because I also had a role to play. Because ideally, I should have known what is good for me and what was not good for me. I should have had a voice to say no, but I didn't. So I stayed in this situationship for another 4 months. And in these 4 months, I was just plotting on my exit. Remember, this guy was beating me up. And anytime he would beat me up, he'd go down on his knees, beg me, blame the devil, assure me the way he loves me, that he'll never do it again. And I would say it's okay. I kept on telling this person the only thing that I can't forgive in a relationship is if somebody was to cheat on me. I don't know where that had gotten that from, but that's what I used to tell him. And now, because there's no way I was breaking up with this person, I used to have like a prayer request. Every Sunday we go to church, I would go to the altar, disturb the pastors with my cries, telling them, oh, pastor, please pray for me. I need to break off from this ugly situation I got myself into. I'm so unhappy. I'm fearing for my life. and things like that. Yes, it sounds so stupid, but I would do it every freaking single Sunday. I would leave the guy seated there. I'll go in front, pour my heart out, come back crying, sit down, and we'll go wherever. So God is gracious. He answered my prayer exactly the way I had prayed for it. Of course, the man started hitting on a friend of mine. The friend of mine was good enough. She came, disclosed the information, of course with evidence. And because I told the guy the only thing I cannot forgive in a relationship is a man who is cheating on me, I was able to free myself from that situationship. So, who told the society that by 30 years old you should be married? Who set that standard? And who said, as an unmarried woman, you cannot progress in some areas? Because these are the things that are killing ladies. I'll speak on behalf of women because I'm a woman. These are the things that are killing people. You are put under so much pressure. You end up making very bad decisions that even affect the quality of your life. Some that can even cost your life. Like in my case, this guy could have easily killed me. He was so bad. Extremely bad. But I thank God I was able to free myself from him. So who told the society that the measure of success in the life of a woman, that the measure of success or satisfaction or fulfillment in the life of a woman is marriage? Who set that standard? In which book of life is it written that when you hit 30, you must get married? You can't buy a car when you're not married. You can't do this or that when you're not married. After you finish school, you get a job, get married, and have kids. The society has set very vague standard and reasonable. When you're married and you don't have kids, it's a problem to them. Oh, you get married, get one kid, they're on your neck asking you, when are you getting another one? When are you getting the playmate to the little one? The demands they keep on coming. You cannot satisfy the society. In my story, what I learned is that everyone's journey in this life is different. Yes, I want to get married. Yes, I want to have a family. And if that will not come my way, doesn't mark me as a failure. I want the society to look at me as complete, because I now know that I am complete. I want the society to accord me the same respect they accord to people who have advanced in age like me and they are still unmarried. Because am I not breathing? Am I not contributing to the society? Am I not enough? The church should stop pressurizing people on matters marriage. Let somebody get married to the person that is right for them. Let the person get married when they are ready, not when the church feels it's your time or when the society feels it's your time to get married. So guys, I will celebrate Valentine's Day tomorrow. I want to wish you happiness. I want to wish that you found yourself first. That you learned to be happy and to know that you are complete, even when there's nobody loving on you. Even when you are past 30 and no guy has asked your hand in marriage, I want you to know that you are complete, you are enough, and everyone's journey in this life really is different. Don't succumb to pressure like I did, because I ended wasting a cool 8 months of my life in a very unhealthy situation. I used to be beaten up daily, and I lost myself. I lost my self-esteem. It was a lot of hard work for me to get back to my confidence levels again, believing in myself. Because I remember this guy in one of those episodes, he would ask me, you ask yourself, at your age, why are you not married? Ask yourself, why hasn't any guy looked at you with the intentions of making you your wife? And imagine, I believed him. I believed that I was not good enough. And to some point I would feel like he was doing me a favor. And so the manipulation made me continue staying in that bad situationship. So just believe in yourself. Just know that you're enough. You are complete. You don't have to have children for you to be complete, or to be married for you to be complete. Of course, all these things are nice, but even if they don't come your way, it's still okay. Let's not succumb to the standards the society has placed on us. The pressure of being in your 30s and not married is real. Sometimes you just want to settle, to tick the box, so that the society can't stop nagging you. Just like me, I know that there could be somebody who is currently in that situation. I want to tell you that this is your life. Nobody cares. Even when you make the decision to get married to that person that you're not into, that person you're very sure is not good enough for you, because you want to tick the box, still no one cares. You will not get any gold medal. You just waste yourself, your life, get miserable, and at the end of the day you'll quit. But you'll quit when you're very, very broken, when you're very empty. I had to do a lot of work on myself to gain back my confidence, to relearn doing the things that used to matter to me, that used to make me happy, because this person crushed me into nothingness. So don't settle. You're good enough. So it's my short story on my personal life experience. I thought of sharing this story when it's the season of love. Choose you, love yourself, and just know that you are enough. I hope you've enjoyed the story. Let's share our experiences on the comment section, and I will see you on the next video. Stay safe and God bless.